beautiful people. It's Beauty Revolution. And can we talk about how dangerous a low self esteem can be? Personally, I think the people who commit the most crimes, do the most dirt in this world, the narcissist, what have you, the people with a lot of mental or emotional instability, I think at the core of them, disclaimer, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not certified in discussing people's mental well-being and disorders. I am just giving my opinion. But I think at the root of all of these people are these very deep set insecurities, whether they were formed in childhood, which most of them are, and I'm not talking about people who have certain birth defects, things that they were born with, maybe some malformalities that occurred when they were in the womb, or a result of maybe toxicity or an accident that happened when they were young. I'm not talking about them. I am talking about people who developed a lot of their insecurities at a young age due to being in toxic or traumatic households, right? These people are very dangerous because, and I'm saying this in a way, not even a condescending way, okay? I'm saying this in a very matter of fact way. It doesn't really matter whether somebody experienced trauma in their lives. When you become an adult and you become self-aware, you know right from wrong, it is now up to you to do the job of healing. It is up to you to recognize the toxicity in your life. You need to realize that what happened to you when you were younger was not your fault, and now you get to become whoever it is you want to be. That is why I give no excuse to evil people, because I have been traumatized from a young age. Does that mean I'm going to turn around and do the same thing to another person? No, because I know it's wrong. They know it's wrong, but they choose evil rather than choose healing. What I've learned about narcissist people, and most people have narcissistic traits. I wouldn't even say they're narcissistic traits. I think most people have egotistical traits. So a lot of us are navigating within our egos. I think that's very normal on different levels. But I actually know a couple of people who are clinically diagnosed, or should be diagnosed with some kind of personality disorder. And I can really only think of two who really need to be diagnosed based on just things that I've studied, okay? What I have learned about these two individuals specifically is that they are incredibly insecure. Incredibly. They do not take criticism well at all. And they create these different situations they plot and they plan in order to get some type of security, some type of control. And then it turns into evil, right? So let's talk about the jealous person. The jealous person is insecure. Okay, we know that, right? But let's really dissect this. When you come into the room, they know and are fully aware of all of their flaws and insecurities. They're aware that maybe their hair is not done, and maybe it is. Shit, how about this? Let's talk about two beautiful women, right? You have two beautiful women in the room together. Let's say one beautiful woman was already there, and then another beautiful woman walks in. So the beautiful woman that was already there, we'll call her Beauty 1, and the woman who just walked in, Beauty 2. So Beauty 1, she gets on edge when Beauty 2 walks in. She's kind of puffing her chest up. She's flipping her hair to the back, kind of making nasty looks. All of the very subtle body language things people do when they are jealous or their insecurities are being triggered. So let's say she's doing all that. Beauty 2 walks in and she kind of notices a little bit. She kind of puts her security up a little bit because she knows that she's about to be dealing with something, or she may deal with something. She notices a little bit, but she decides, I'm going to smile, and I'll smile to her, and Beauty One smiles back, but you can tell that it's not genuine at all. There is some coyness, some slyness in her smile, right? And Beauty Two's like, well, I'm confident in myself and I don't feel threatened by Beauty One. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to just sit down. And the rest is history, right? So why is Beauty One? She's a beauty, right? But why is she insecure? Well, she doesn't feel safe in the presence of another beautiful woman because A, maybe she doesn't know she's pretty and she second guesses her beauty a lot. B, she has some trauma associated with women of other phenotypes or other hair textures, or she feels like she has to compete. 3, she criticizes herself, or C, she criticizes herself heavily and she compares herself a lot to others. D, she's very judgmental. The reason why I say these people are dangerous is because I've seen what people will do when they're jealous of you. When I was growing up, I was never the one to judge someone based on what they look like. So I had friends of all different appearances and all different backgrounds. To this day, I'm very non-judgmental, but now I'm more wary because I realize that I really need to be careful about the confidence level of whoever it is I'm associating with. Because I had a friend who I thought we were all good, right? I went over to her house. We got inebriated one day, and her boyfriend took a liking to me. Mind you, I'm so drunk, like I have no idea what's going on. He ends up kissing me, and I push him off me because I'm like, whoa, like you're with my friend, like I'm drunk right now. I don't even know what's going on. Like, leave me alone. Okay, and she saw him come on to me. The next day, she tries to come and attack me, and we get into a physical fight. Mind you, this was a white girl, and her boyfriend also being. And I noticed that women will attack the other girl instead of the guy because a lot of girls are looking for men's validation or boys' validation, what have you. And she came and attacked me, and we ended up fighting it out physically. And that's why I'm saying insecure people are dangerous, because when push comes to shove and you get put in a situation, potentially they can put you in harm's way because of a situation like that. So instead of watching your boyfriend come at me like that, you decide to let him, and then the next day attack me physically. Insecure people are dangerous. They will possibly put you in harm's way. We see these stories all over the internet, don't we? Of college friends, they let their college friend get harmed, their roommate get harmed because of their boyfriend likes them. I find that a lot of the violence between women comes because of a guy, okay? I'm not saying that's every time, because a lot of women have their own insecurities outside of male attention. But I think at the end of the day, because of desirability and women wanting to seek the desirability of men, a lot of that competitiveness comes from that and men's attention. So it's like, oh, instead of my beauty coming from my own validation and what I find beautiful and not feeling threatened by other women's beauty, because I feel like maybe she has a one up on me or she's competing for attention with me, I feel threatened by her. So I might attack her. I've heard all kinds of stories of what jealousy can do to other people, what someone else's insecurity can do to other people. I've heard of women getting acid splash on their face, women getting their hair cut off, girls and women getting their hair cut off, getting cut in the face. I had a friend who she said that she is a MLS woman and she would get attacked at her foster home by the other girls living there. No, it was a group home. She would get attacked at her group home because the other girls there didn't like the fact that she was light skinned with loose hair. They didn't like the fact that she was MLS. So they attacked her physically, and she said it happened a lot. And she actually ended up getting into a relationship with the strongest girl there so she could get protection. Like, do you see what I'm trying to say? Now, let's talk about how having a low self-esteem and being insecure can make someone want to put themselves in a dangerous situation. And so I mean by, let's say this insecure person, they want the validation of somebody so bad that they're willing to put themselves in danger in order to receive validation. I have seen girls throw themselves in front of men like a sirloin steak in front of a pack of wolves. Okay, the way they're dressing, the way they're acting, and men are dangerous, especially in groups. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. I find that when one man gets an idea and then they all agree, things can get crazy. Okay, and I'm not saying that's all the time. I had a lot of male friends growing up. When being in school, I would hang out with nothing but the guys and nothing would happen to me. Okay, but I was never throwing myself at them. Okay, I wasn't sleeping with any of them. Maybe they were attracted to me, I wouldn't doubt it, but I was never throwing myself out there like I was available. That's not to say that they wouldn't do anything, because some guys, you could be wearing a dang hijab and they'll come and get you, okay? But what I'm saying is that the person who actively puts themselves in danger because of their insecurities. Think Bella when Edward left her in the Twilight movies. Think Bella when she went up to that random guy who was on the motorcycle because she was starved for Edward's validation and attention. So she was like, the only way I can get to see you and get you to care about me, like to his ghost or whatever, was to put herself in danger. Like, that is the perfect example of that, okay? I see, and women will put you in danger in order to receive the validation of somebody else. So there are so many examples that I could give to tell you that people who have a low self-esteem, whether it be you or someone else, okay, that could be dangerous for you. I had to distance myself from a family member, cut off contact with them because their insecurities was causing me so much distress because of the microaggressions, the talking behind my back, the plotting and planning. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to be walking on tiptoes because you're so damn insecure about yourself. And I'm not able to be comfortable in my beauty. Well, I'm going to be comfortable in my beauty no matter what. I don't care if you don't. I don't care if you feel threatened about me doing my hair, my makeup, and wearing nice clothes. I don't care about none of that. If you feel threatened by that, that's on you. But I realize as beautiful women, we really do have to be so careful with the women and men that we have around us, because a lot of people are very insecure, have these low self-esteems, and will put you in danger. They will put you in harm's way. They will put themselves in harm's way. I've had a friend like that. I told her, I was like, hey, the guy you're talking to was just trying to talk to me. Like, while you were in the back seat, I'm in the front seat with him. You're in the back seat with what's his face. He was just trying to holler at me like, girl, you don't need to talk to him anymore. Instead, she puts herself in harm's way with him and with the friend after I told her all this stuff. And she's talking about I felt pressured. And no, dude, I told you. Then she winds up getting pregnant, having a complicated pregnancy because the stress and blah, 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 all this stuff, okay? All these dudes in the world, and you just had to stay with his bucket face self and put yourself in these weird ass situations where you don't know what these dudes will do to you. You know what I mean? Like, you do not know. And so you need to be careful. I have seen so many girls do that time and time again. I'm like, you're gonna stop playing with these men, okay? You're gonna stop playing with these boys, these guys, because they smell insecurity. Because I personally think that men are more insecure than women, and I feel like they're able to notice insecurities in women more, and they will play on that because they have that manipulative nature, and so and so and so and so. And you could be put in such a crazy situation. And even with other women, I think we brush off way too easily when we have the jealous friend. The jealous friend who she says the underhanded comments. She's making certain comments that you know are weird, and it's like, why are you saying that to me? You know it's coming from a place of jealousy, but you keep writing it off. You keep brushing it off. And then we hear the stories about that friend, that same friend, doing something to you. I don't know if you guys know about the story of Mahogany Jackson, Shankella Robinson. There are so many other stories, okay, of women who have been put into situations by other insecure people, by other jealous people, and they ultimately lost their lives. Don't brush it off anymore. You don't need to tolerate having insecure people. I refuse. I'm going to tell you right now. If you don't have a similar confidence level to me, if you don't have the same assurity level as me, if you don't feel comfortable with yourself on a similar level as I do, I'm sorry, you can't be around me. You're a danger to me. Because I don't know when you're going to snap. And I'm not going to wait around to find out. And so, yes, being beautiful is very isolating because of that. Because you don't even have to be beautiful. People can be jealous of you over anything. And so, more so, you need to protect your beauty. Okay? You need to protect yourself. Not just your beauty, but protect yourself. Because you are beautiful. And people are like seething with this unwarranted rage because of that. And you don't even have to be, conventionally attractive. If she thinks there's anything that you're doing better, if she thinks that there's anything about you that's better, if he thinks there's anything about you that's better, if he thinks you're doing anything better, it can potentially, look, I have a zero tolerance policy for toxic people in my life. Some people are very forgiving and they're like, oh, well, nobody's perfect. Yeah, I get that. And I'm not perfect. My husband's not. My sister isn't. But what I do know is that she's not competing with me. My husband's not competing with me. And I'm not going to have somebody in my life who is competing with me. Because I have a zero tolerance for that. And if you're going to be competing with me in this one-sided competition, because I'm not competing with anyone, I'm comfortable with myself and where I'm at in my life and where I'm at with my beauty. I'm not competing with anyone. Get away from me, because you are potentially a risk. You are potentially a danger in my life, and I'm not willing to risk that. Have you looked outside in 2024? This isn't the time to be playing games. Not in America. Okay, nowhere in this world is it time to be playing games, especially with insecure people. People who don't feel safe within themselves, their environment, whatever it is. This isn't the time, because you're going to need to make decisions now and in the future based on your self-esteem. People who have low self-esteem make stupid decisions. Okay? People with higher self-esteem make better decisions, because you make decisions based on whether it's going to serve you or not. You're going to make decisions that are for you instead of other people. I don't know, maybe that's like the Leo in me. I mentioned that in another video, but I'm very much about self-preservation, okay? I have kids, I have a family, I have myself. I need to protect myself no matter what. People are crazy. I don't think everyone is crazy, but I don't have time to find out, okay? I'm okay with my life of peace and introversion. I keep my life simple and I keep people away from me. My husband is very similar to me. He has some very good friends, but they live further away. He vets everyone that comes into contact with him. My husband is very similar to me. Okay, and so there was one time that we tried to be those people who was like, yeah, let him come over here and, you know, let's try to help others, which we will do, but you're not coming in my house. Because the last couple he brought in here, he knew this guy from his country. Okay, he's here in the States. He was married to this woman. When I tell you, that was the first and last time I ever let people who were acquaintances come into my house. Never again. This is a place of peace. You're not going to come in here with your drama. As soon as she came in, she's looking around real nervous. I already knew. Here we go. And it went south immediately. She was being real crazy, talking about her husband, drama. Never again. That's never happening again. No one gets to come over here ever again. And no one has except for family. That's it. You have to be careful because this girl, it was potentially dangerous. She was crazy. This girl who came to my house. You have to be so careful about the people you have around you. I promise you. I'm pretty sure listening to this video, you have several people popping up in your mind who are potentially dangerous for you, who are potentially freaking crazy, insecure, starting drama, starting stuff. And with the world we're going into, you have to practice self-preservation like your life depends on it. You need to love yourself like your life depends on it, because it really does. How you value yourself and your environment and the people around you, and watching for all those little things and thinking like, you know what, maybe these people are dangerous. Think of these different scenarios you could be in. You got to start thinking like a survivor as a beautiful woman. I'm sorry. That's just the reality. And I was thinking to myself, this person is potentially dangerous in a more serious situation. If you cannot trust somebody in a more serious situation, that is definitely not someone to have around you. That is definitely not someone that you can trust. So just think about how people are in different situations. When people say like, oh, you can't vet, hell, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You're just choosing to ignore the red flags. Don't ignore the red flags with insecure people. It is normal for people to be insecure. I'm not saying like, oh, you have to be the most confident person in the world and only be friends with other confident people. But you want to be friends or acquaintances with who have a healthy self-image. People who are healthily human, okay? People who don't have evil thoughts, people who don't have evil goals, people who aren't constantly plotting and planning and nefarious, okay? People who are healthily human, that's who you want around you. Not perfect people, but healthy people. All right. If there was something that you would like to add to that conversation, do comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.